What is up, YouTube? Geez, what's been almost 2 years? Yeah, I know, time flies, especially when you're having fun. Not really, just been working my ass off. Anyways, excuse my language. I just wanted to give you guys a little update on the car, the tunes, how everything's been going with it. I've done a lot of stuff to it, as you can see. Put a lot of upgrades onto it. Definitely doesn't look the same. We will go through some of those. And then if you guys would like to give me a follow on Instagram, sickmade_S6, so you can follow along. Pretty much came from stock on Instagram to what it is right now. I got all the pictures. Then we'll go through what I've done. I'll give you guys some rundowns, what I did to do the stuff, how I did it, installation of some of the stuff and whatnot. But let's get a cold start. Yeah, she still sounds good as ever, but a little cold start for you guys. She's a little dirty right now. I haven't pulled it out and washed it. Been playing with the kids and homework and all that stuff, even though they're out of school and the whole COVID thing's going on. Still got to get the kids knowledge. So education. As you can see, it's changed a little bit since the last time. We got the carbon fiber diffuser on it with the carbon fiber exhaust tips. They need to be cleaned up. Haven't been cleaned in a minute. And then I got the Maxton rear bumper skirts with my Avantgardes 20x10 ET35. Put a 5mm wheel spacer on to kick them out just a little bit more. I like the look of it. Makes it look really good. Really aggressive. And then did up the red center caps. And then did the red brakes. Did the brakes myself. I'll go through a little step-by-step process of what I did. It's my first time doing it. I was really scared. I started on the front one, driver's side first. Super scared. Came out great though. Maxton side skirt. And there's my front caliper that I did. Doesn't look too bad. And then I'm on the CT control module, so I got the front pulled down a little bit more because the tire doesn't stick out as far on the front. Just the way the car is set up. And then I put on the Maxton front bumper extension. Had it painted gloss black. And then I had my radar covers painted gloss black. Put on the Maxton front splitter with the vinyl. And then I actually took the grill out and took apart this piece down here and had that painted. And then I painted the Quattro script white by myself. I went and got some touch-up paint and did a bunch of touch-up on the front bumper while I had it off and torn apart. You can check that out on my Instagram, sickmade_S6. So I tore that apart and then had that all painted at the same time. Obviously same with this side. And then I don't know if I did a video. I had the deflectors blacked out with vinyl, and then the front headlights tinted with vinyl, and you can't even tell the difference at night. But obviously the roof wrap gloss black. And the carbon fiber mirror caps. And these are they're just the eBay special. I believe it's stone carbon. The fitment was perfect. No problem with the fitment. really good. I don't drive the car that much, so I probably won't see issues with clear coat or stuff like that. Some people might, because their car sits out in the sun. Obviously mine just sits in the garage all day long. Don't ever get to drive it. Then here's the other front caliper. Give you an inside shot. So it was a pain in the butt to do. Adams rotors, they're still good, work perfectly fine. I haven't checked for cracking, but I don't see any cracking. Still work perfect. Haven't had an issue with them. So, yeah, so what I did, I also did the CT control module. I believe the rear right now is set at 30, and the front, oh no, the rear set at 20 or 25, and the front set at 30. Right now it's trying to do the self-level stupid thing, so the car tweaks out when you get out of it. So one side lowers and the other side raises, and then I got my custom spoiler. I had this custom made because I couldn't find one at the time when I was looking for them. You can see some of the defects in it and the light right there, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It was handmade. Okay, so a little overview about the car. I'm drinking a beer. I don't condone drinking and driving. Car sitting in the driveway, it's not leaving. Not going anywhere today, obviously, COVID-19. Keep your social distancing, everybody. But so I got the APR tune on it, stage 2. It's been stage 2 for, I don't know, almost 3 years now, maybe longer. Been a while. I haven't had one issue with the car. The only problem I've had is I broke the motor mounts, and that was very expensive. I didn't want to do it myself. I heard you had to drop the chassis. You could get to one of them without doing it. Not chassis, front subframe, my bad. I heard you can get to one of them without doing it. I didn't want to tackle it, not in my garage. I didn't have the tools and stuff for it, and go get an alignment, and so I had a shop do it. Each motor mount individually was $600, I believe, or $650, and then after everything's said and done, I believe I paid around $2,000, $2,500. I'd have to look at the quote or the invoice. Yeah, it was expensive, very expensive, but I haven't had an issue since. And I think, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that the reason they broke is because of 100 octane on the 100 APR map at a 5,000 launch, RPM launch, and I'm pretty sure that's what broke them. Car went like a bat out of hell, but yeah, I don't think they were too happy. I think they were on their way out. So one thing they say about the motor mounts is the active cylinder deactivation is it puts more stress on the motor mounts. So I had that coated out through APR right after I had them after I had the shop change motor mounts. I had them coated out so it doesn't switch into 4-cylinder mode. You don't get that blah blah, the cylinders deactivate and activate, and it doesn't do it. It's strictly V8, which I love. I hated just shutting off the traction control to be able to stop that. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Besides that, haven't had any issues with the car. I haven't had to do the PCV valve yet. I haven't had the turbos blow yet. It's only got 50, I think I'm just about to hit 57,000 miles on it. 2014. So I don't put a lot of miles on it. I got this big red truck right here you guys obviously see in the video that I drive every day for work. So I can get into, so the Adams rotors, like I said, they're beautiful, flawless. I can't remember if I had the backs on when I did my last video, but now I have the backs. I have the front and the backs. They work perfect. Love them. Gyro disc has got some rotors out now, but I believe they're just fronts. I don't think they have a rear yet. So if you want to do the gyro disc, they look phenomenal. Like I was actually it's pretty upset that they weren't out when I did mine, because I would have got the gyro disc for the front, because they just look incredible and they're a sweet brake setup. But I obviously would probably went with the Adams rotor for the rear because they don't have a rear setup yet. What else? I went and had the taillights tinted As you can see, they're not tinted now. I got them sitting in a box over there, went and had them spray painted. Cost me an arm and a leg. Not even the next week they went out. So I could have had it matched and put it back on, but I didn't want to deal with it anymore. Like, what happens if it goes out again? Yeah. That tint, I might do a vinyl wrap on the rear. If I do, I'll let you guys know. I kind of like the stock taillights. Makes the car look a little bit cleaner, especially goes with the red brakes and the red center caps. Let me get into the brakes. I'll do the brakes and then I'll make another video for the rest of the stuff. Thanks. Okay, so like I said, I'll go into how I did my brakes. So first off, you got to get the sticker, and then you're going to want to get the sticker to color code. You can get them on Amazon or eBay. Amazon has a bunch of different color choices you can do. I like the silver around everything, and then with the white S6 with the red. Silver breaks it up, and then it wouldn't blend in with the white. So you can order that on Amazon. It does take a while. It took about a month for me to get them. I know a couple of guys that are waiting on them right now. So first, what I did is, if you go on my Instagram, I'll probably link some pictures onto here of how I covered everything up. You're gonna want to degrease everything. So brake cleaner, I used brake cleaner with Purple Power mixed. So I'd spray it with brake cleaner to get all the big stuff off, and then I'd take Purple Power with some hot water. I'd spray the Purple Power on there, and then I'd scrub everything with a toothbrush. And then the stuff that wouldn't come off, I would take a piece of sandpaper to, and I'd sandpaper it. It wasn't wasn't very rough. I can't remember what grit it was. So what I did is I hit all the little pieces that wouldn't come off with sandpaper, and then let everything dry. Obviously, your garage has got to be 70 degrees and rising. So I have a little, it's called the Mr. Buddy. And that's what I heat my garage with. So I heated my garage for about 4 to 5 hours before I started working on the car, and then went out there, started prepping, doing all that stuff. Prep, you know, takes the most of the time. I did one wheel at a time because I don't have 2 jacks and I only have 1 jack point. So I did one wheel at a time, and I also did the tire stickers at the same time while I had that wheel off. So I did the Purple Power, sprayed it with hot water, sanded it, and then went over it with rubbing alcohol. I rubbed everything with alcohol, got it all clean to where I had used a white paper towel, a big roll of it, and I kept wiping it until I didn't see any grease on the paper towel. It was just still alcohol. Then I let it dry for half hour, 45 minutes, and then I did my first coat of primer. So I did a set of primer. Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, here's the stuff that I used. This is what I used for my primer. Now, the one thing you want to be careful about is your colors and what you're using. So I'm using all Dupli-Color, right? But you got to make sure they're not going to have a chemical reaction. So whatever you buy, I used all 3 of these. None of them had a chemical reaction with each other, and I tested them first. I went and got a piece of metal that I had laying around. I sprayed on the primer, let it sit for 10 minutes, sprayed on another coat, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then sprayed on my red after letting it sit for 10 minutes. Nothing happened. And then I put another coat of red on there to make sure I had enough paint on there, no chemical reactions. Then I waited 1 hour and sprayed my clear on there, clear gloss. No chemical reactions, so I knew I was okay. That's when I started doing my brakes. So now I use this primer first, and the pain in the butt about it is once you do a primer is your base coat. Once you do your coat, after you do your primer, you got to do multiple coats. And I mean, you're not going to do thick coats because you don't want the paint to run, right? So you got to do a bunch of light coats. I did about 5 coats on this, and it wasn't really thick. I mean, they were pretty light. I mean, sometimes I would get a little, probably a medium coat on there, but I'd also take an LED flashlight and I would go over the brake with the LED flashlight, because the red and the gray, you could see the little specks in the gray and the red. So I could see all the little specks with the LED light. So then I knew I had to put another coat on it, so I'd have to wait another 10 minutes. You don't have to exactly go by 50 to an hour or whatever it says on the can. It says you can spray up to an hour, and then after that you got to wait. Obviously I did 3 coats of gray, and then I did 5 coats of red, so that's over an hour. That's an hour and 20 minutes if you're waiting 10 minutes in between coats. So you don't have to exactly go by it, but I waited 1 hour after my base coat was done to put on my sticker. So then you put on the sticker, you test an inconspicuous spot, make sure it's dry, and then I cut my sticker. I cut this piece right here right to the edge of the sticker. That way, because you can still see the raised portion of this through my paint, because this base sticker was still there. So I could see a little raised edge right here, so I lined that up perfectly with that edge and then slapped on the sticker, and that's what it came out. It looks perfect. And then I waited, oh no, you don't have to wait at all, you already waited your hour. So then I put on my clear coat, and then same steps, 10 minutes per in between coats. I put 3 or 4 coats on, and you don't want to do it very heavy either, because you can't see it, so you can get running very easily. And that's that for the brakes. So now, if you're gonna do tire lettering, it's a pain in the butt. Okay, the stuff that this kit came with, it didn't do the best. I mean, some of these edges, oh, that one's not raising. Some of them are raising. So I went online and I did some research. See, like this one's raising. So I did some research and found out the best glue to use. So I ordered that off Amazon. I'll link it in the description. And hopefully when that gets here, I can go back through and I'll just touch up a couple of these real quick. And that way I don't have any tire letters falling off. But that's about it for right now. Thanks for watching. I'll have some more stuff coming, like the side skirt installation, how I went about doing it. It's really simple stuff, but it's just like the little things, like I cleaned it and then threw on a little bit of adhesive tape every now and then, double backstick tape, just to get it in alignment, and I'd be able to pop it off, put it back on before I screwed and drilled my holes and tapped and whatnot. But thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll make another video here shortly. Thank you.